All right. So in this video, we'll assess the management quality of this company, Agarwal Industrial. Okay. All right. In the previous video, we looked at their business. This video, we're going to look at their management quality. In the next one, video 3, we would value this business. All right. So let's get started. So I have the annual report from year 2022 open. Okay. So let me straight go to the index. All right. So here, let me click on the director's report. Okay. So here in the director's report, okay, let's read through this share capital. So what they're saying is they allotted some 35 lakh warrants, okay, to promoters and also the public at an issue price of 105. When they did that, जब उन्होंने warrant allocation किया था, okay, the price at which the share price the stock was trading was 150. Okay, so nothing illegal, because warrants you can issue based upon the last 6 month share price of a company. तो illegal नहीं है, but it just shows कि अगर आप warrant issue कर रहे हो, so what it means is कि आप एक बहुत profitable तरीके से, okay, you are acquiring your own shares. Okay, so it shows कि share the promoters are not very minority shareholder friendly. Okay, so that's a note that I have, that one one should keep in mind. Okay, that even in the future, okay, they could increase warrants and make a profit out of it at the expense of minority shareholders. All right. Okay. Well, what retail investors like you and me would have preferred is they buy from the open market, or shares from the open market, or they give buyback, or they give dividends or whatever. Okay, so the profit or the cash flows are shared equally with all, and not just the promoter group. All right. And usually the argument that is made when a company issues warrant is the company needs capital, company needs funds to grow. Okay. So I did that calculation, okay, and I think I have noted it somewhere. Okay. So the allocation as a result, the capital that was infused was 10-15 CR. Okay, which is I think pretty small in the grand scheme of things. Okay. So I have their transcript. I think it's called transcript from November 22 open. So let me, I think it's page 15. And I know you may think it's me nitpicking, but if you read through this, they are saying they're very comfortable with the current minimum debt that they have in the books, which is $10 to $15 million that they're talking, not rupees. Okay. So see, if they are comfortable, like they have this credit line that they can easily draw. Okay. So the purpose of warrant was not to really infuse capital. It was really to increase ownership at very low rates, at risk-free profits. Okay. So yeah, so that was my point. All right. So any which ways, this does show that the promoters perhaps not very friendly. Okay. It's not a deal breaker per se, but again, this is something that needs to be closely monitored. All right. So let me go back to their annual report. Okay. And again, so now let me go again to some in the director's report. So let me go further in this section. All right. Yeah. So here in this director's report, they also talk about the change in promoter shareholding. And obviously, as a result of this warrant exercise, okay, the shareholding increase of these promoters. Okay. And some of them, they cashed out a little bit as well. Okay. All right. Now, I also want to show you something as well. Okay. And again, this is going further in the director's report. Okay. Here, what they're saying is that they had a group company, okay, which was Agarwal Translink Private Limited. This was the group company, meaning promoters की खुद की company थी जिससे ये लोग transactions करते थे. Okay, so what they did, they acquired that company at a price of 12.5 CR. Now this is fine, looks fine. Okay, okay. Lekin the price of this company was 10 CR. So for their own company, they paid a premium of 25%. Okay, तो मतलब 2.5 CR का premium दिया इन्होंने to acquire their own company, right? And again, you may think this is me net. Right. So again, you may think this is me nitpicking, but it's just important to keep a track of all these things. Okay. And so if you must be wondering how I came up with the 25% premium. So I'm just taking a note. Yeah. So this is if you go to page 200, this is notes to the financial statements. So if you see here, Look at this note, 2.6 CR worth of extra payments. That is almost little more than 25% premium that they made to themselves. All right. That's important to note. All right. Now, moving on. So there's another thing that I thought it's interesting that investors should pay attention to. And again, we are talking about the notes to the financial statements. Okay. You look at the receivables. Okay. In year 2022, 30 CR or 19% of receivables were at risk. Okay. तो मतलब बहुत पुराने हो गए थे, 3 साल तक पेमेंट उनका रियलाइज ही नहीं हुआ है, उनका प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी, उनकी सेल्स रिकॉर्ड हो गई है, सॉरी, बट वो अभी तक कस्टमर से पैसा आया नहीं है. ओके, एंड सिमिलरली 11% receivables in 2021. Okay, so it's important to keep track of these things and ask the management, during con calls or by emailing them before they become too big. Okay, so that's one. And then another point, and again, notes to financial statements, although we haven't really, no, I have gone through the financial statements, but I have not discussed the financial statements at length with you. Right now, I'm just talking about some of the red flags that I came across. Okay, so then let's moving on to page 216. Again, notes to financial statements. Okay, so here, when they talk about other expenses, when they itemize the other expenses, okay, you see bad debts written off, and it's 12.6 CR. Again, out of 21 CR, 22 CR, अगर आपका 22 CR का आपका other expense है, okay, उसमें more than 50% is bad debt written off. So you got to ask कि किसको आपने उधारी दी जो वापस नहीं हुई, जो आपको write off करनी पड़ी, कि किसको दी basically. We just saw receivables कि customer ने पैसा नहीं दिया है कुछ time से, अब ये उधारी किसको दी? So these are the questions that we should be asking them. All right. Again, not a deal breaker, at least for me right now, but again, things to keep in mind and track and question the management as we move along. All right. Another thing, okay, and again, is you look at this related party transaction, this section, there are a lot of related party transactions, by the way. So within 1.5 years, within 2 years, they had 4 different company secretaries. CA उनका change नहीं हुआ, let me also tell you, लेकिन CS उनका 4 बार change हुआ है उस साल में. It could be personal reasons, it could be not anything wrong with the company, but again, this is something to be kept in mind, that too much churn is not perceived in a very good light. Okay, and then if we take a look at their related party transactions, okay, I think this page has a. So if you see the related party transactions, so if you see a lot of group companies in which the directors are partners, their own promoters are partners, and they transact with them a whole lot of transactions. ये तो उनकी खुद की कंपनी है जो एक्वायर कर ली है, लेकिन इसके अलावा if you see all these companies, ANZ Transporters, Agarwal Gas Carriers, and this Muralidhar, Ishwardas, Balotra, Balaji Tires, so ये सब इनके related party transactions हैं. See, related party transactions का problem क्या है? You would expect them to reduce over time, okay, because you never know कि कितनी level of transparency से transactions हो रहे हैं. Okay, क्योंकि parties को as such कोई audit नहीं कर रहा है, at least उसका auditing का report इस annual report में नहीं होगा. Okay, so you got to be careful with these related party transactions. Okay, because you do not know what is happening in the background. All right. All right, so now I have the annual report from 2023 open. Okay, here also, let's first go to the director's report. See, you should ideally sift through all the sections, but because I've gone through it, I'm just spending time on the ones that appeared like orange or red flags, which an investor should always take note of. Yeah, director's report. Okay, here in the director's report. Okay, so again, you may feel as if I'm harping on the warrant point too much. Okay, but here's how they've justified the warrant allotment. What they're saying is, entire funds raised under the said preferential issue, which was the warrant allotment, have been utilized strictly in accordance with the objective of the issue, which was repayment of debt, capex, investments in meeting other working capital requirements. See, again, in my view, it was too small in the grand scheme of things, the cash infusion through warrant. Okay, so So I think we spent enough time on these warrants. So let's move forward. Okay. All right. Now, there's another interesting thing which I came across when I was reading through their director's report. Okay. It was that they're saying the company during the year under reference also incorporated an NBFC, okay, as a wholly owned subsidiary of the company, which is yet to commence its business due to some pending regulatory permissions and licenses. Well, to me, it's again, everyone is entitled to their own view. To me, I think they would be better off focusing on what they are doing best and not just try to do a lot of things at once. The diversification could prove to be diversification, not may bode well for a lot of investors. But anyways, this is interesting to keep in mind that they have incorporated an NBFC and would be starting one soon. All right. Okay. Now let's move forward. So I found something very interesting in their financials. I know we have not like discussed financials, but something very interesting. So this is the balance sheet usually, and I'll make a separate video on how to analyze a balance sheet if someone is interested. Okay. So I've just put my notes here and here's my heading. Okay. See, they are one good thing about this company is that they are actually doing this capex capital investments. They are able to do capital investments through both their retained earnings, that is their internal accruals, and some combination of debt as well. Okay. The capex that they did in FY23 was solely through internal accruals, which is what I have written here based upon what I saw in the balance sheet. Okay. And also, one thing is not only internal accruals, but also payables. Internal accruals of 100 CR and 100 CR worth of payables have funded the 3 ship-star capex and the current assets. तो उनके करंट असेट्स इंक्रीज हो गए. ओके. उसका फंडिंग एंड केपेक्स का फंडिंग सिर्फ इंटरनल अक्रूवल्स नहीं हुआ. वो क्या किया, जो सप्लायर को जो पैसा देना था वो थोड़ा रोक दिया. ओके. तो वो भी कैश था जिससे इन्होंने अपने करंट असेट्स और अपने केपेक्स को फंड किया. ओके. सी व्हाई दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट इज ओके कि अगर आपके पेबल्स इंक्रीज करते हैं, व्हेन योर पेबल्स दे इंक्रीज, it's not sustainable over the long term because your suppliers would demand payment on time or because there is competition. Okay. जैसे कि भैया ये कंपनी मेरे को टाइम पे पैसे दे रही है, मेरे को इसके साथ धंधा करना. Okay. So payables is something to keep when companies का पेबल इंक्रीज होता है तो वर्किंग कैपिटल के लिए अच्छा होता है. कंपनी के वैल्यूएशन में इट्स पॉजिटिव फॉर द कंपनी. ओके. बट वो मोमेंटारली पॉजिटिव होता है. वो द लॉन्ग टर्म अगर पेबल ज्यादा होते हैं तो इट मे नॉट bode well with the suppliers because they may not want to do business with you in the long term. All right. Okay. So yeah, so I just opened up screen here. So if you see their receivables तो 37-35 के रेंज में, इन्वेंट्री डेज थोड़े इंक्रीज हुए हैं. पेबल्स, देयर इज अ मार्क्ड इंक्रीज इन पेबल्स. यू सी व्हाट आई वाज गेटिंग एट कि पेबल्स इनके बढ़ गए हैं जिससे इन्होंने अपने बढ़े हुए इन्वेंट्री और बढ़े हुए केपेक्स को फंड किया है. And internal accruals, obviously, so that's a good part, but combination of internal accruals and payables. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I've covered some of the points which I thought were important to discuss as far as the annual reports are concerned. Okay. So also, if I look at their earnings call from August 2022, there is a point regarding crumb rubber, and it's very interesting. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. In fact, this is one of the reasons how I landed upon this company. So I thought it's very important to mention. Okay. So Agarwal Industrial, what they say is they do produce crumb rubber, CRMB. Okay. By the way, crumb rubber is actually produced from waste tires. Okay. And the crumb rubber, when it's mixed with bitumen, then it is believed, as per research, road ka life enhance ho jata hai, and plus it's more eco-friendly as well. Okay. So there's a company, Tina Rubber, okay, which produces CRMB. They recycle old tires, old worn-out tires, and then they crumb rubber बनाते हैं. And वो crumb rubber वो refineries को और road construction companies को बेचते हैं to be mixed with bitumen. Okay, that's one of the segments. They are into other crumb rubber. They sell to tire companies as well. Okay, so and that company ka share price is taken off, and I have written a blog about that company. It's there. I've not made a video, but it's there in my blog. I found a lot of management and corporate governance issues. That's why I decided against making an investment in that company, in full disclosure. Okay. But CRMB, I searched for CRMB and I found that Agarwal Industrial, they make this this product as well. Okay, but their take on CRMB is pretty interesting. What they say is, if you read through this para, they're already producing CRMB at our units. It's not new in the market, but the demand of CRMB has gone down year on year. There's not a significant demand of CRMB in the road sector. Okay, so that's what they say, and it's interesting because if you read through Tina Rubber, they are pretty about Tina Rubber, the other company which I mentioned. Tina Rubber, they are pretty optimistic about the demand of CRMB uh, in road construction to be mixed with bitumen. Okay, see, so that's why whenever we read through these earning call transcripts, some of the comments, okay, they are very self-serving. So you take them with a pinch of salt and do your secondary research. Okay, all right. So that's so it's important. I thought I'll bring it up. All right. All right. So my last point regarding their management assessment was regarding what they communicate to the investing community. Okay. So if you remember, they have been purchasing a lot of vessels, a lot of ships. Okay. Okay. So here's the chart which shows the ship purchases that they have done. Okay. Now every time they purchase a ship, they say that the payback period, expected payback on a new ship is 4 years. Okay. All right. So I thought, let me try to see if try to back calculate if it's indeed 4 years. Okay. So let me just run you through my numbers. Okay. And I'm going somewhere with this. So this is the earnings call this is the latest earnings call from Feb 2024. Okay. And last ship play, they said 4 years. And indeed, I think 4 years is justified, but not for the ships which was purchased earlier. The last ship that they purchased, uskili they said payback is 4 years. And which I think, as per my estimates, yeah, the payback is 4 years because they got it for cheap. लेकिन उससे पहले the ship they purchased, they were slightly expensive than the latest one, and I think on उसमें payback will be much higher. Okay, and but they have been saying 4 years, so maybe I'm missing something in my calculations. Okay, maybe I am. Okay, or perhaps the management is a little too optimistic. It could be either of those two things. All right. So any which ways, let me run you through those calculations. And if you're not interested, that's it. You can just this is the end of the video. At least for you, if you're not interested in this calculation. But I'll just take a minute to explain how you can reverse engineer these 4 years. Okay. So what they're saying is the latest ship, 48,000 tons, they purchase it for 145 CR and the payback is 4 years. Okay. So let me try to reverse engineer the 4 years. Okay. So ship जो उन्होंने purchase किया 145 CR में था. Okay. Now, okay. Now, अगर ये ship नहीं purchase करते, then they would have been forced to use a rented ship from someone else to ship bitumen into India. और उसके लिए they would have had to spend around 1,200. That's what they tell. 1,200 रुपए per ton. Okay, so let me just take 2,000 for now. I know मैं काफी बड़ा number ले रहा हूँ, but there's a reason which I can come back later. तो 145 CR divided by 2,000 rupees per MT है, okay, per ton है. So this comes around 725,000 tons. So इसका मतलब this is the number of tons, this is the number of metric tons they need to transport from this 125 CR to break even. अगर वो बोल रहे हैं 4 साल, तो 4 साल में इतना टन शिप करना पड़ेगा इस 145 CR की वेसल से. ओके, और इसका टनेज कितना है? द टनेज ऑफ दिस 145 CR वेसल इज 48,000. सो इफ आई डिवाइड दिस 725 metric ton by 48,000, okay, so I get the number of voyages that this vessel needs to do is 15 over 4 years. अगर 4 साल में ब्रेक इवन करना है तो मतलब every year less than 4, 15 divided by 4 years, तो मतलब 3.75 voyages per year हो गया, which is very doable because अभी भी वो 5-6 तो कर ही रहे हैं. ओके, और एक साल में इन 1 year, ओके, वो 3.75 times 48,000 मतलब करीब लेस देन, आई थिंक ये इतना है, इतना एमटी ट्रांसपोर्ट कर पाएंगे. Okay, which I think is very reasonable. So the payback indeed is could be 4 years on this new vessel purchase. Okay, but some of the other vessels that they had purchased early on, they were quite expensive. Okay, and on them I wasn't able to get to this 4 years number. Okay, because uske liye kya ho raha hai, they'll have to do many voyages per year. Okay, and ship a lot of quantity to break even in 4 years. All right. So that is, I just wanted to show that this is something interesting that I came across. All right. Okay. So, but see, hope this video was helpful in trying to form a judgment regarding their management quality. See, it's very subjective. Okay, assessing management quality is very subjective. Okay, but it's important that we keep a track on the things which appear as a red or an orange flag and monitor them over time. Okay, even if it's a very good company, if you're just looking at in a bull run, you're just focusing on the demand, on the growth, on the sales. Okay, so it's very easy to get carried away, and people are getting carried away and just put all your hardened money in a stock. Okay, so and this seems to be a good company. It's just that there are certain issues that one needs to track and not put all your money. Perhaps just have a satellite portfolio. Okay, usme say just put some money here and see how your different monitorables, how your different parameters, both regarding financials and the management, they evolve over time. Okay, so one just needs to be a little more careful. All right. Again, I'm not a SEBI registered investment advisor. All right. Okay. All right. So this was on management quality. Next video, we'll value this business. All right. Okay. Thank you.